The next four, Digging Deeper, European Connection, Disco Boogie, and Pink Pounders. The mind boggles.
Well, I thought, you know, we had a tasteful cover on this one, so I thought I have a tasteful title for this one.
Yes, absolutely.
Because the picture this time is a little bit, you know, less controversial.
Okay, well, lead us through these and your thought process, because you've seen the success of the first four.
Yeah.
And then immediately, an opportunist like me said, "Let's have another four."
Yeah, well, absolutely, and I was glad of it as well, because there's so many tracks that we only had 4 out. We only had 8 discs to do before.
Yeah.
There was a load more that we could do.
Yeah.
Album by album, very briefly, Digging Deeper is a little bit like Classic Disco Part 2. Apart from the fact with the title, we've hopefully gone a little bit deeper and got a few more rarities out. European Connection is just Euro Disco 2, and I changed the title from Euro Disco to European Connection because a few people said to me before, they said, well, you've got one disc of 70s, one disc of 80s, it's not all disco. Now, to me it's all disco, it doesn't matter when it comes from, it's all disco to me. But I took it on board and I thought, well, if you call it that, they can't, you know, it is what it is, simple as that. Disco Boogie is the new genre for this new series. I'm really excited about that, and it's concentrating on the early 80s, mostly kind of soul, funk, boogie tunes, and then obviously Pink Pounders is self-explanatory. It's gay disco and High Energy Volume 2.
I love the sleeve on that one.
Yeah.
Where was that from?
I don't know where that is. Do you know where that is?
No,
I don't know.
I think it's San Francisco.
I think you're right, because I thought initially Washington, then someone said,
yeah, sure, because of the background.
Yeah, but Damien, who we work with, he lived in San Francisco.
That's right.
He says it is San Francisco. So
doing the sleeve notes for these is interesting for me, because in the first 4 I'd actually decided to do, because we talked about it, I did the history of each genre, really, more of an overview about everything, and then this gave me the chance to actually go into all the separate tracks and actually work it all out from there, and sort of like thread it through and who was connected to whom, and it was actually really interesting to do it, because I remember telling you, I said, I can't possibly write that amount again, and I did even more this time, remember? It was really funny.
Hey, what's the time of day? Seems like
And I really enjoyed doing that, because I think it all worked. You know, you can really see themes and genres coming together by how it all, what happened. I mean, it's just interesting.
Also, I mean, there's things in the notes you wrote that I didn't know. You know, this thing. I think it's great to learn things.
Of course,
because no one knows everything.
I think that's what keeps us, keeps us going. Really, it's that thirst for knowledge. I literally learn something new every day, and I'm pleased to.
No, absolutely.
And I'm sorry, I have to say this right. I mean, if Gloria Jones was the track for the first 4, for me it's the Crystal in the Pink one. In this one, Back to You, which I remember so well. And I thought, hang on a minute. Me too. I was like on the way in. And I thought, fantastic. Apart from, and also the Piers Adora Jermaine Jackson has a special resonance because I actually lived in Los Angeles at that particular time when that came out. And it reminds me so much of that. I actually burst out crying when I played that.
With happiness.
Yes, of course. Thinking, no, he's ruined it. But because even hearing Pia Zadora, who was the starlet at the time, strain to sing, I find immensely moving because she can't sing it properly and she's trying so hard.
I don't think her voice is that bad. I think I love her.
But
as well.
and the production on that is wonderful.
Oh, it is. It's amazing.
And I just think, anyway, sorry, I had to put that in.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, maybe we'll talk a little bit more about that because it's an interesting story of that record.
Yeah.
But let's have a look at Digging Deeper.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to firstly choose Party Song by Sticky Fingers, which is the first track on the CD1. That's a damn funky number produced by Ian Gwenther and Willie Morrison, who had so many different guises. THP Orchestra is probably the most best known. The Immortals, the Duncan Sisters, various other things, studio projects and stuff, which they were behind with various singers. This one, Party Song, I've chosen because the Sticky Fingers album is really quite full-on disco, but this is tucked away on it, and it's a really kind of...
It's the track that everybody missed at the time.
Yeah, you said in the office a few days ago, is this Rolls Royce kind of thing? It sounded like Rolls Royce, and it does have that kind of sound about it, but I think it really stands out, and I think it's a great opener.
It's the funny thing is with a lot of this stuff, I think what you've done and that's why the title's so appropriate. On the Sticky Fingers album, was it the track "Wasting My Love"?
That was the
I seem
big
to
hit,
remember.
yeah.
That was the big one. What used to happen, those albums used to come in on import. We'd race to the shop, we'd get them, do the needle on the tracks, you know, and immediately, you know, "Wasting My Love" was the one that jumped out.
Yeah.
And then the next week there'd be another 15, 20 albums. You know, the turnover was that quick in those days. We had a tendency to miss.
So you never got around to
Exactly.
actually investigating.
Yeah.
There's loads of tracks on this I absolutely adore. I mean, Savage Love of the Ring, I've always wanted that on CD. I mean, I've always had the 12-inch, and I mean, it's just wonderful.
I was always slightly nervous about hearing that record.
And to be honest with you, the Mick Jackson surprised me because
Yeah.
the orchestral sound of that, it really taps into sort of like a very, you know, like the Cerrone type feel with the orchestration, and I loved that. And of course, nobody knows really about him apart from, you know, Blame It on the Boogie, that famous story about him writing that and getting sort of like, you know, having the hit with the Jackson 5 and Michael Jackson as opposed to him, and everyone thinking that Michael Jackson wrote the song and not him.
It's
And
a
I think
very,
that's
very lush production as well, isn't it?
it is.
You know, the
It is.
strings and everything.
It really
Straight
is
out of
lovely.
it.
That I'm quite pleased by that one. And then, I mean, you know, the other stuff. I mean, Charlie Colello Orchestra.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to say that.
Big band disco.
Yeah.
You don't hear productions like that these days.
No, you
that's for
don't.
Sure.
Well, that taps into your Dr. Buzzard again.
It does, absolutely. But I knew Charlie Colello before. I didn't know that anyway. I can say that with honesty. But it's quite interesting because there's quite a big swing revival, electro swing they call it, going on at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Where they're sampling old 40s and 30s and 40s swing records and putting house beats or drum and bass beats to it. And I think that Charlie Colello is that powerful, it would fit very well into that kind of, a night of that kind of music.
So powerful over a big system.
Yeah.
Funny, do you remember Greg James? Greg used to be the DJ at the Warehouse in Leeds,
okay.
and he was originally something to do with Studio 54 in New York. And Greg was the guy who actually introduced me to a lot of this stuff.
Okay.
You know, and of course he was a seamless mixer. But I do remember him playing the Charlie Colello Orchestra, and you know, I was a bit snobby about, you know, quite obviously commercial records at the time. I was a so-called credible DJ, but that was so powerful, that record, and it never fails to fill the floor.
Even now, when you play it, even though these have been very professionally mastered, there's a resonance to that sound of that record. As soon as it starts, it's huge, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely huge.
And you know, because you mentioned that, but also you've got like the Ritchie Family here with Quiet Village, which is yet another sort of like old track, you know, the Martin Denny easy listening thing from the 50s. It was very popular, and I think that's actually quite remarkable, that to me. I mean, that really sort of taps into disco, but still has the echo from the 50s. It's got that Mad Men vibe.
Yeah,
you know? I
definitely.
really love that.
I mean, I love
Quiet Village.
Yeah,
Ritchie
wonderful.
Family.
I love that.
Yeah, it's glorious.
It is.
It's glorious,
It
glorious
is, and you know,
production.
and that is a first time on CD for that full album version.
Just the hook on that is just wonderful.
It is.
You know, anyway.
Because the album as it stands it's one of those old continual song albums, so it just goes into it.
Sure.
We got that mastered directly from Scorpio, and I'm very pleased to have it because it is definitely one of my favourites. Any more on there?
No, sorry, there's too many on that. It's because these are so new that we're still getting used to these. So we've actually I'm just rediscovering.
Yes, right. Well, the first one, you know, because I said before there was some holy grails we didn't get the first time round. My first holy grail is the awesome Hills of Kathmandu by Tantra.
Yes.
16 and a half minutes of orgasmic Euro disco. There's no other way of saying it.
Salso Valley's finest hour.
Without a doubt. It's just the most...
Did the camera pick us all being a bit smug? We mentioned that one.